with chapter number 10 from your history book of grade 8, and the name of the chapter is The Revolt of 1857. So this is the great revolt in India, and we can say this is the beginning of the independence movement in India. So let's begin the chapter. India in 1857, 100 years after the Battle of Plassey in 1757, and you can say now there was a beginning, or you can say this was an explosion and of the against the oppressive British government, and which you can say exploded into flames and shook the very foundation of the British rule in India. So British historians called it a Sepoy mutiny. Indian historians refer to it as the Great Revolt of 1857 or the First War of Indian Independence. Now, what are the causes of this revolt? Okay, so the political causes, the aggressive policies of Lord Dalhousie caused widespread resentment and among the Indian rulers and their subjects. So Dalhousie unjustly annexed several Indian states as to fulfill his objective of extending of the native states. Okay, Dalhousie annexed the states of Satara, Nagpur, and Jhansi by applying his doctrine of lapse. Now, the annexation transformed the courageous Rani of Jhansi into the, you can say, very bitter enemy of the Britishers. Nana Sahib, the adopted son and of Peshwa, that is Baji Rao too, okay, was denied and a pension after his father's death. Nana Sahib became one of the leaders of the revolt. Bahadur Shah Zafar, the Mughal emperor, lived in the Delhi as a pensioner of the British. Dalhousie announced that Bahadur Shah Zafar's successor would not be allowed to stay on in the historic Red Fort, or he would have to move to a place near to Qutub Minar or on the outskirts of Delhi. This was a great blow to the dignity of the Mughal emperor and deeply hurt the sentiments of the Muslims. The annexation of Awadh on grounds of, you can say, maladministration and outraged the people of India. In general, the Awadh in particularly, Awadh was always been a friendly, faithful, and a subordinate ally. Okay, but the Nawab of Awadh was exiled to Calcutta. Now the British showed, you can say, skate respect for the treaties is that were signed with the Indians. Now treaties were broken, and whenever it suited them to do so. This created a sense of fear and insecurity among the rulers of subordinate states. The axe could fall on them anywhere at any time. So what are the economic causes? Because each treaty which was getting made or which was already signed between the local, you can say, emperors, or between the Britisher and the landlords, all those were getting broken whenever Britishers were finding that it was beneficial for them. So they all became very insecure. The Indian Nawabs and the kings and the Mughal emperor, all everything that time they were in insecurity that the Britishers can do anything at any point of time for their benefit. Okay, what are the economic causes? Is the policy of economic explosion or exploitation and by the British was a complete destruction and of the traditional economic structure caused widespread resentment among all sections of the society. The land revenue system introduced by the British is caused great hardship in misery among the peasants farmers. Under the zamindari system, for instance, the peasants were oppressed by the zamindars and exploited by the moneylenders. In the cultivators, if the cultivation failed or the cultivators failed to pay the land revenue to the zamindar or return the loans to the moneylenders on time, they were often flogged, tortured, or jailed. And the improvisement of the peasantry led to the numerous famines. Okay, landlords also suffered from a sense of insecurity. Thousands of jagirs were confiscated by Bentic and Dalhousie, and where they were unable to produce a written title deeds of ownership. When Awadh was annexed, the states heirs of the zamindars and talukdars were confiscated by the British. They became sworn enemies of the British Empire, or you can say British rule. The interest of the Indian economy were sacrificed by the interest of the British trade and industry. This led to the utter collapse of industrial handicraft industries. Nothing was done by the government to develop modern Indian you can say industries. Indian artisans and craftspeople were ruined, and the annexation of Indian states was followed by a large-scale unemployment and economic distress. So, when Awadh was annexed, the administration was replaced by company administration. As such, as hundreds of court officials and their subordinates lost their means of livelihood. Poets, musicians, you can say the artists and artisans, as depend on loyal patronage, has also lost their job. In the next video, we shall start with the social and the religious cause. Thank you.